From the Miami Arena, the slam dunk competition set to get underway along with Rick Barry and Doug Collins. This is Bob Neal on All-Star Saturday Night. The judges for the slam dunk competition. We've already seen one of them in action earlier. There he is in his business look, Dave Bing. We saw him in his recreation look in the Legends game. Bobby Jones. That's not, of course, Bobby Jones. That's Calvin Murphy. Bobby Jones is also one of the judges. Calvin Murphy didn't get a chance to win the game at the buzzer. There's Bobby Jones. Remember that Philadelphia championship team back in 1983. Bobby Jones played well in the Legends game. Jamal Wilkes. This guy's all showered and look fresh as daisies now. 75 Rookie of the Year, Jamal Wilkes. And Nancy Lieberman Klein, one of the greatest players in women's basketball history and a leader in the women's sports movement, also one of the judges tonight. And now here's the introduction of the contestants and Dave Axelson.
His outstanding dunking ability was displayed to the nation last year when he led Illinois to the NCAA Final Four, Kenny Battle. The leading scorer for the Charlotte Hornets, this guard used his 39-inch vertical leap to win a national high school slam dunk championship in 1985. Now his second pro season, Rex Chapman. The youngest player in the NBA at age 20, this 6'10" forward has turned heads with his powerful and acrobatic dunking style, representing the Seattle Supersonics, Shawn Kemp. Coming into his own in his third pro season, averaging career highs in scoring, rebounds, and assists from the Chicago Bulls, Scottie Pippen. Representing the Sacramento Kings, a talented young guard whose explosive ability off the dribble makes him one of the most dangerous backcourt players in the league, Kenny Smith. This fine forward first served notice of his dunking ability as a senior at Louisville, leading his team to the 1986 NCAA championship. From the Miami Heat, Billy Thompson. Competing in his fifth Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship, his extraordinary scoring ability earned him the nickname the Human Highlight Film. The champion of the 1985 Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship from the Atlanta Hawks, Dominique Wilkins. Completing the field for the 1990 Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship is the defending champion, whose dazzling display of acrobatics and power dunking led to a record score of 148.1 points in last year's final. From the New York Knicks, Kenny Sky Walker.
There's your defending champion. And now the order of competition in the first round was drawn earlier by the players, and here it is. Kenny Battle, Rex Chapman, Scottie Pippen, then Dominique Wilkins will be appearing fourth in that order, followed by Billy Thompson, Kenny Smith, Shawn Kemp, and Kenny Walker, the defending champion, will go last. The rules: each participant will attempt 2 dunks in the first round, 2 in the second, 3 in the third. 1 substitute dunk is permitted. Each round is scored separately. Remember, competitors may replace 1 dunk per round, and a sudden dunk will break any tie. Each person would take 1 additional dunk. There's the prize money, exactly the same as the three-point shootout. $20,000, $10,000, $55,000, $25,000, and $1,000 for each of these competitors. And our first one out of the University of Illinois from Phoenix, Kenny Battle.
Well, I think, right now, Kenny Battle wants to get a dunk down. You didn't want to do too much on that first dunk, Rick. You want to get a good score posted, get yourself going. I think these guys that come out and do something real crazy on the first one either make or break themselves with the first dunk.
Yeah, well, you can see his action and competition there, but I'll tell you, Doug, the toughest one is the first one because the judges aren't warmed up either.
Well, he's warmed up.
Routine. How do you even describe those things?
Well, a little 360 left hand.
You see the fans voting. 8s, 9s, and 10s flashed up on the scoreboard. A moment will be the tabulation from our judges. There are 5 of them, as we told you before. There it is again.
The only thing he might have done is he started his turn before he actually had leaped. He didn't do the full 360 in the air.
It looked full to me. I'll give him a full 360. Well, what, a 358 maybe?
Yeah.
Our next competitor, remember, 2 dunks in the first round. Each competitor may replace one. So our next competitor now is Rex Chapman from the Charlotte Hornets. He's the leading scorer for Charlotte. He has a 39-inch vertical leap.
You know, I think it's very interesting, Rick and Bob. There's 2 different kind of dunkers. There's a 1-foot leaper, and there's guys that are 2-foot leapers. Dominique Wilkins is a 2-foot jumper. Rex Chapman normally does everything off 1 foot on the run, more like a high jumping style. So you're going to see a lot of different styles in this competition.
So the cumulative total from the 5 judges for Battle on his first dunk was 42.5. 50 perfect, of course. Ooh, Chapman tosses to himself for the 2-handed reverse jam.
Yeah, now you see, Bob, when you do something like that, you throw the ball in the air behind your back, you do something a little extra special, it makes it look like it might be a little bit more. We'll watch him again on the replay. Here he comes. Now a little flip from behind his back to the front. 2 hands over the head. Good timing. Nice toss. It just has a better look to it.
It looks smooth, didn't it? I mean, it was real creative, and that's a nice first dunk for Rex Chapman.
Remember now, each judge can give as many as 10 points per dunk for a total of maximum of 50, and the first one for Kenny Battle was 42.5. So Rex Chapman awaiting his score. Our next competitor will be Scottie Pippen, and Doug, you coach Scottie Pippen, and we know that he can really jam the ball on the break when he's in competition, and 45.5 the score for Rex Chapman. What about Scottie?
Well, you know, Scottie is a flyer. He can do it off 1 foot. He can take off 2. He's got the big long stride. You see it here. 1 foot takeoff. If I'm the Bulls, I'm worried about Scottie Pippen in this competition because he has a history of a bad shoulder, and he's hurt it going up trying to jam the basketball. And right now, if I'm coaching the Bulls, I'm holding my breath right now that he doesn't do something to that shoulder.
Scottie Pippen coming into his own in his 3rd season. He's averaging highs and scoring rebounds and assists.
Whoa, wait a second. Hey, he's measuring off the old run from the free throw line full court for his first dunk. Where is he going to go from there?
Scottie's not wasting any time.
Michael start from 92 feet away.
I told you, Scottie Pippen can. Guys, the guy's 6'9". He's got a look at his long arms. He can extend. This is a guy that you better watch in this competition.
Well, that's a good way to get off to a start in this one. I mean, doing the full run. He stepped inside the free throw line just a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, just like about an
2
inch
inches.
and crammed it in.
Oh, my. Oh, that's got to draw high scores. I mean, that's the kind of dunk that won the championship for Michael Jordan, as you see it again, right on the line, sailing and jamming. 6'9", Scottie Pippen awaiting his score from the judges. Battle had a 42.5, Chapman a 45.5.
You know, the interesting part is Michael Jordan's sitting right over his right shoulder, and he's probably going to talk to Scottie about some things he can do in the competition.
Scottie gets 47-2. Scottie Pippen is the early leader, and next up is a former champion, the human highlight film, Dominique Wilkins, a late entry into this competition.
Now, you know Dominique is going to do a double pumper, and he's going to bring it down to his ankles and bring it back over and dunk it. So it's either going to be a 3-6 or 1-8, but the ball will be down by his ankles before he releases it, Rick.
He's changing balls as he gets ready for his first dunk. Dominique Wilkins.
You see, Dominique has such great vertical leap, but he also is an exceptional power dunker who does the creativity that you like to see in the dunker. He has all of the elements that you need.
See, he's a 2-foot takeoff guy too, Rick. He gets on and he gets into a 2-foot rhythm. You see him here with a hop. Look at him bring it down. Until you can slow that down, you don't realize all the places that ball's been. Look at this. Boom, his head is up around the rim. I would love to have been able to do that one time without it being off my daughter's trampoline.
Here it is again, Dominique Wilkins. It reminds me of the golfer who doesn't stand up over there and look at the ball. He just walked out here, changed balls, and then headed down, and his first dunk, a 48.1 to lead the dunkers. Pippen had a 47.2, Chapman a 45.5, Battle a 42.5. Next up.
Yeah, I wonder what it's going to take to get a 50 in this competition.
Is Billy Thompson.
You know, I tell you what, guys, you see Michael Jordan over there, and he's talking with Scottie and Dominique. He's not in this competition, but I guarantee you his heart is racing right now. He is such a competitor. It's going to be really difficult for him to sit over and watch this.
Billy Thompson, remember him? He was one of the doctors of dunk from Louisville, and he's taking
balls.
2 basketball.
That's creative. You got to do those kind of things. Get the crowd in it, too. You talk about wingspan. He's got the wingspan of a condor.
Yes, he does. tell you, the big thing is he better get him some stickum, because his hands are going to be a little slick from his nerves, and he wants to hold on to the ball. Otherwise, one of them's going to squirt out on him.
Jerry West had arms like that. He was 6'3". We reached in the air, and he reached as high as I could reach.
Billy Thompson, his first dunk. This is the first round of the slam dunk competition. Oh, he missed one. Remember now, a player can replace a dunk.
Each player
One dunk out of the two.
replace one dunk per round.
But see, you know what? He can say, really, I didn't miss it because I still made one.
I just carried the other one with me.
The other one was just there for show.
Well, watch it again. This could have been a heck of a dunk. Look, at first with the left hand. That's the one he got the rim. But the second one was very nice. That first one goes in. He gets the highest score.
He's going to replace it here. I guess he's going to go with it.
All right, he's going to get to go. Remember, you're going to replace one dunk.
Little gamble here, but I'll tell you, if he's able to go and get it through, as Isaiah Magic look on, he's going to get a very good score for this dunk.
Billy Thompson is going to try it again. He's got both of the balls. He was up there the last time. 1-2, he got them both. That's a 1-2 punch if I ever saw it. Billy Thompson. You hear the crowd cheering. He, of course, of the Miami Heat, a local favorite. No points are deducted for replacing a dunk, so his first miss has just gone away. But now they go to the next one. He won't have a replacement left.
Now, this is like when you go out on a golf course in an exhibition, you can buy a mulligan. He's already used his up in a hurry.
Yeah, but what a nice dunk. Look at the elevation. First with the right hand, the left hand comes underneath with the right. Excellent dunk.
That's beautiful.
Billy Thompson scored 47.7 points.
What do you get?
47-7, which places Billy Thompson in second place behind Dominique Wilkins, who had a 48-1, and Scottie Pippen is right there with a 47.2. Remember, last year the judging changed to tenths of points, maximum of 10, but tenths of points are included to avoid the obvious tie, and Kenny Smith will be next.
Well, Kenny Smith, probably one of the people the fans would like. Of course, the Heat like Thompson, but Kenny, one of the shortest competitors here, along with Chapman at 6'3", but an outstanding leaper.
He's a 1-foot takeoff guy, Rick, so you're going to see him. He's going to do it like a high jumper, probably going to try to cradle one and maybe throw it in over his right shoulder.
Yeah, usually the shorter guys are the one-legged guys.
Yep.
Oh, that was strong, grabbing the rim with one hand, reversing with the other. But is it strong enough to move ahead of Wilkins or Thompson as the judges write their scores down?
You know what this reminds me of, Rick? This reminds me when I played for the Sixers, and I used to go, and everybody yelled, dunk one. You got Julius Erving, George McGinnis, all these guys like tearing it down. You do your best. They go, ugh.
Yeah, I know. I never wanted to get in that.
You know, look at Kenny Smith there. I mean, look what this young guy is doing, and it's like, go sit down.
So
it's like a lost cause sometimes, boy. A tough spot.
The low score so far came from Kenny Battle from
Kenny
Illinois.
Smith score 43.4
And this
points.
one's just barely above the Battle score of 42.5. Kenny Smith got a
Next round, Kemp of the Seattle
43.4.
Supersonics.
Now, Sean Kemp. Rick, you see him a lot at Seattle, and both of you said he may be the dark horse competitor in this competition.
Now, I'm serious. Watch this young man. Now, just again, as Doug pointed out, he's got to get his timing down. This is something with a packed arena, everybody watching him, but he does some things in games that bring the opposing team's bench out of their seats.
He's got a lot of power. A lot of power.
Youngest player in the NBA. This 6'10 forward is only 20 years old.
See, I think that right now he's making a mistake, Rick. I think he ought to get something easy.
Oh! Is he all right? Yes.
Well, he tried to slap a little extra on that one, but that's good. You got to do it. You got to try and be creative.
But he's got to get this dunk to go down. You want to make sure you get it down. Look at this. I mean, he was real close to. Oh!
Yes, he gets it on the replacement.
See, I tell you,
that's strong.
But this is the way he is, Bob. This kid will miss a shot, take an air ball, come back, shoot the next one. He is never intimidated. That brought his competitors up off the bench.
Sean Kemp, 6'10 from Seattle, only 20 years old. The score to beat to move into first place in this first round is 48.1 by Dominique Wilkins. The judge is adding this one up right now.
Bob, this young man has never been intimidated. He's got one of the great attitudes. I mean, just a terrific, terrific young man. Happy to see him make that dunk. Makes it interesting competition.
Yeah, it does. It really does. You know, and you see him over there, the smile on his face. Right? He's happy. He's proud of himself, which he should be.
Sure. It took a lot of guts to do that again.
And the score, 49-1. That puts Kemp into the lead ahead of Dominique Wilkins.
You know, the interesting thing about him is, like, this kid didn't even play college basketball. I mean, and he's just a young, raw player that's learning how to play. I'm sure Bernie Bickerstaff every day in practice leaves practice and says, I saw something in this kid today that I have not seen.
Yep. Uncut diamond. Patrick Ewing rooting for his teammate Sky Walker, who is getting ready to go up next. Yeah, Shawn Kemp, terrific young man. He's lucky to have Bernie Bickerstaff, who has patience.
Yes, he does. And Kenny Walker now has had problems with a knee. He was on the injured list with tendonitis in the knee. He's had back spasms, so he will probably only do a 360 and bring it all down.
Yes. Did you talk to him?
But you see the legs. He gets the legs going. He puts a little line. Look at Patrick trying to get the crowd.
But he's not a biased judge, though, at all.
Not at all.
Patrick, showing his Georgetown education, decided to just add another zero. Of course, all these NBA players know how to add zeros to figures. He gives him 100.
There's Doug talking about the two-hand plant, the 360, pump it down, kick those legs out, grab onto the rim. I mean, just do things to get the crowd. Make them think you're doing more than you might be doing. That's an outstanding dunk.
I don't think it'll beat Kemp.
No, I think
didn't have the power.
That's about a 47 dunk right there if they're really.
Kenny Walker's throw.
They got it right on the button, Doug.
Exactly 47.
Do you play the lottery often? Or?
Well, maybe I need to go. Maybe I need to leave.
Kenny Walker with a 47. Dominique Wilkins in second place now. Kemp in first place. And in third place is Billy Thompson. Remember, 4 advance. And Pippen right now in fourth place with 47 too.
Kenny Battle might as well bring out all stops right now. There's nothing to hold it back. When you're chasing these guys now, you might as well try to be as creative as you can possibly be. The worst thing you can do is miss.
Exactly. And for the other guys coming up who had some good scores, they can't be, too creative. If they've got a shot, they got to make a good dunk just to make the next round.
That's right. Right now, he's got nothing to lose. Go crank it up. Give it your best.
Now, they'll add these scores up to determine the 4 who will advance to the semifinals from the first dunk and the second. And Kenny Battle, who has a replacement dunk left, will replace it, and this will be his last shot.
But not a good decision there, because that dunk would never have gotten him enough points, even if had he done it successfully, to have gotten him into the Final Four.
See, he's a 2-foot leaper. Again, Rick, he's not a guy that's going to explode off one leg, so he's a rhythm jumper, 2-foot jumper. So he's going to have to now think about something maybe with the basketball. We see Clyde the Glide Drexler and Joe Dumars, a couple of great basketball players, both having great seasons right now for Portland and Detroit.
Talked to both of them yesterday. As he dropped the ball down near his knees for the reverse two-handed jam.
See, a dunk like that, Rick, goes so fast, people don't know where that ball has even been. Until we see this on slow motion, you don't really realize what he's doing. Here you see it right here. He goes up, cranks it all the way down between his legs, up over his shoulder. And from what these other guys have done, that's just sort of a routine dunk.
Probably not enough by my guess. Remember, the judges do not have the benefit of the instant replay. It would obviously take way too long. And sometimes in live action, even for these experienced basketball people, they don't get to see enough. And that'll be 85.3 for the cumulative total, 42.8 on this one. And you can see the wear and tear on the net. This could be like some kind of scientific experiment to see just how durable nets are. And the officials are going to go over and straighten it out for Rex Chapman, who will come up next. Rex had a 45.5 on his first one.
This young man can fly. He really can take off.
Well, he won a dunking contest when he was in high school, and of course, they didn't like him too much down there in Kentucky, since they referred to it as Rexington, Kentucky, when he was there.
His father was a great basketball player in the ABA.
Looks like he's going to try something similar. Yes, Rex Chapman, his 39-inch vertical leap. He gets the bounce and the reverse two-handed jam. But once again, because Shawn Kemp did that first, will this hurt him in the scoring from the judges?
Well, you watch Rex Chapman, you got to remember this kid should still be a senior in college. You got Shawn Kemp, who's 20 years old, so you got a bunch of young guys in there. Kenny Battle, I mean, the timing is great. He goes up strong. There's the 1-foot takeoff again over the shoulder, but he's in some pretty heavy company right now.
Seems to favor that two-hand over the head. That's both of his dunks have been that type of a dunk.
And Scottie Pippen about to come back in here. I thought Scottie Pippen should have been rated higher previously when he left from the free throw line, and the cumulative total for Rex Chapman will be 92-1 as he got a 46-6 on that second dunk. And here comes Scottie Pippen.
You know, I think Scottie, it was too bad for him that he had to go second. With that run from full court, what he did, had he gone later on in the contest, I think he would have got a much higher score.
I agree with you. As you said, the judges weren't quite warmed up yet either. Scottie is a spectacular dunker. He likes a lot of times to go up like he's going to dunk it with his right hand and bring it over to his left. Let's see if he does something like that this time.
This is it, but he has a replacement dunk coming.
Yeah, well, it's very important that he makes this dunk, of course. Otherwise, he'll have no chance to move on to the competition. But yet he still has to get a good score. So he's in a tough spot here.
Now,
would that dunk have moved him up there? I don't think so.
No. Now,
that was his replacement dunk. And yes, that will count. Unless, for some reason, they determine that he stopped to save somebody's life.
They say he can go again because he didn't try.
That's what I thought.
He'll have another opportunity.
This is a judgment call on the part of the officials.
Now see, the one thing about Scottie, I don't know if he understands that he doesn't necessarily have to do that same dunk. He just gets the replacement, so here he's going to do something else.
That won't do it, I'm afraid.
Probably not enough. Scottie stopped his dunk before he got it up to the rim last time, allowing the second replacement. But Pippen probably won't be able to defeat the top couple. But remember, the 4 top scorers will advance to the semifinal round.
Well, it all depends what happens. But you see, there's really anything special. The 1-foot dunk. But he did kick the legs, which was nice, and came over. I mean, I wish I could have done that just once in my career. I mean,
yeah, we're sitting over here like routine.
I know, right? I mean, it was a pretty nice looking dunk, but he didn't have, of course, the power going back. I think he might have got a little flustered with the miss and then the second try, and he just kind of went up there and didn't put a lot of thought into what he was going to do. As he gets a 45, Bob, not bad. That might help him get there.
That's a total of a 92-2. So thus far, from the 3 who have performed dunks here in this second round of the first round, Pippen leads with a 92-2. Chapman had a 92-1 and battled an 85-3.
Got a good chance to maybe be right there in the 4th spot.
Well, he's averaged, what, 46.1 per dunk?
Or
that's
third
not
spot.
bad.
Yeah.
So
3rd or 4th spot.
You know what amazes me about these guys? They go over and they're sitting there.
Dominique says this is how you drop it down below the knee and do the reverse jam. Dominique Wilkins, Cliff Livingston, his Atlanta teammate.
Bob, they go over there, and Rick, they go over and they sit down, and they wait, and they just sit there until it's their time to dunk. I would be so stiff trying to get up. These guys, you see them, they come right off and jump about 46 inches in the air. That's incredible.
I know. If you see Nico, of course, see the power he's got. There's the 2-foot, the plant, the clutch down low, same thing. Now, it's the same kind of a dunk that we saw Battle do, but it just looked a heck of a lot more impressive when Dominique did it.
Well, he certainly had more range on the length, the arc at which the ball traveled. That's Dominique will now have a score of 96-3 to move into first place.
48-2, I think, is too high for what he did on that dunk.
That's called reputation.
Yeah.
Now Billy Thompson of the Miami Heat.
He brings that with him.
It's like the old gunslinger in the West.
Well, that'll happen when you get a subjective type of contest.
Well, as Reggie Miller said, that when the three-point shooting contest, Rick, that's something there is no judgment.
That's right.
You either do it or you don't. Here, you're putting it in 5 other people's hands, and you're hoping they like what they see.
Thompson's in 3rd place going into this. Remember, he has used his replacement dunk. He did one day for the school children, the stay-in-school crowd that came here to watch practice, where he grabbed the side of the backboard up above the rubber protective molding and jammed it on a reverse from the other side, which I liked.
This is what he might be looking to do right here. There you go, Coach. You call it.
There he did. He practiced that this morning. He didn't get his hands above the rubber molding, but only I know that. The judges weren't here to watch this morning.
Rick, I want to tell you something. I've only seen one guy be able to do this one dunk, and I'll tell you about it after Billy Thompson does this.
All right, we'll be waiting for the score from Billy Thompson, the local favorite from the Miami Heat. He dunked 2 balls on his first one, and this time from the baseline, he went down, grabbed the side of the backboard, and jammed it on the reverse. And let's go to Steve Jones.
Well, I'm over here in Dunkers heaven, really. These guys are over here having themselves a good time. They changed their choices. I'm with Magic, Isaiah, Joe Dumars, and Clyde Drexler all down here. Magic, who is your favorite now? You changed on me.
I changed with every dunk. But like I said, Dominique had to be the favorite, and Kenny Walker. And I said also that the dark horse had to be the young fella from Seattle. He's
see how many choices he's given himself?
No, I still say Dominique is the favorite. But I love them all. I'm about to watch Kenny Smith because he's going to do something unbelievable right here.
All right, you're Magic. He didn't let anybody else talk. Let's go back to you guys.
Well, thank you, Steve Jones Magic Johnson. Personally, disappointed in the score. I think Thompson only got a 43-7 on that dunk we saw for a total of 91.4, which places him in 4th place right now. This is Kenny Smith.
Is this one the two-hand between the legs? I mean, two-hand bounce between the legs and then get it off the backboard and dunk it? I've seen him do this. Look at this. This is spectacular. You bounce it between your legs, Rick, off the backboard. You turn and you dunk the ball. This is unbelievable.
Good horse shot. I do this in my backyard, so never lost a game.
Now that's, I mean, can you get as many of these as you want?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
Good question. This one looks like a good one. Yes!
Now, see, that's good. That's big time right there.
That's creative. See, a lot of creativity as David Robinson liked it, but he got a lot of opportunities to do it. He didn't have the power. Of course, he's only 6'3". Remember that, folks. But that still is very creative. A lot of high marks for creativity. Here we'll see it again.
Look at
Finally
this.
got it on the glass. Up, boom.
And then it's a 180.
It's still pretty darn good. I like it. Another angle.
Good replay.
Let me tell you something, guys. I was going to tell you about a dunk. Julius Erving, one day in practice in Philadelphia, we were having a dunking contest. Doc won the contest. He stood, if you see, he stood underneath the basket, out of bounds, underneath the basket, and jumped inbounds and dunked the basketball. And no one on the team could even come close. I asked Michael Jordan to try to do it one day, and he couldn't do it. I've never seen anybody do it.
Big score for Kenny Walker.
Kenny Walker comes up now with a total of
Kenny Smith.
Kenny Smith, excuse me, Rick, I'll get to this stuff, with a 93, which places him in 2nd place.
That was great. Now Sean can't miss here. This is the big problem. He had 49 in that area. He's got to make this dunk.
See,
not as good as his first one.
Well, his timing wasn't good. The ball was there, and it didn't look as smooth.
Nope, but again, he was out there flying. He did throw it up in the air. You see how the crowd reacted to it. That could have an effect on the judges. Nowhere near as good as his first one. Here he goes. Now I see his running off, but underneath the arms, catches it, pumps it down, throws it in. But he had a lot of movement, a lot of action, and the crowd reacted to that. So we'll see what the judges come up with.
This is the first round, remember, and 4 of these 8 competitors will advance to the semifinals. The top 4 total scores, and that'll be a 98.2. So Kemp got a 49-1 and a 49-1.
I think the judges have fallen in love with Sean Kemp, too. You know, he's the kind of kid, he's got that infectious smile. You can't help but like him, Rick. I know you do the Seattle games out there. You can't help but like him.
No, he really, really is a very nice young man.
Kenny Walker, the defending champion. Kenny had a 47 on his first dunk. Doug told you about his injury problems this year, particularly his lower back. The windmill reverse on the baseline by Kenny Skywalker.
Yeah, he gave it the big cup job. Again, tough to get a lot of power in that kind of a dunk, but certainly a good idea as he comes baseline. You see he's got it cupped in the right hand there, the one-leg takeoff from down underneath. Well, you have to have some good acrobatic and body control to do that.
You know, he's actually spinning the other way. Normally you would come around the other way. He's actually spinning, what is that, clockwise? That's a tough dunk.
Kenny Walker, the defending NBA Slam Dunk champion. My guess is we'll probably get enough points to advance to the round of 4. He gets a 48-2 on that for a total of 95-2. The semifinalists are Sean Kemp of Seattle, Dominique Wilkins from Atlanta, Kenny Walker from the New York Knicks, and from Sacramento, Kenny Smith. Eliminated were Pippen, Chapman, Thompson, and Kenny Battle. And Sean Kemp's first dunk.
Well, this was just awesome power that he threw that through. And I think, Rick, what are you going to give him credit with on the second one is he could not miss another one. And he came in here and he's got the crowd turned on right now. They're in his corner, and if he can keep them in his side, he's going to really affect these judges.
Well, plus now the next round, that one dunk doesn't matter that he missed that one dunk. He gets to start fresh over again, and it should be very interesting. Too bad again, I think, for Scottie Pippen though, with that dunk he made. That was terrific from the foul line.
Kenny Walker missing on this one. Remember, there are 2 dunks in the first and second round. They'll get 3 in the final, and you can replace a dunk. He's going to do that here. The order in this one, there's who failed to advance. It'll be Walker, Wilkins, Kemp, and Smith. This is the replacement dunk for Skywalker. Oh!
But you see again, he get those legs flying, that cup job, and if you get the power with it, that just gets the fans really into it.
You got it. It's
He's
pretty
the defending
awesome.
champion. You got to knock him out, remember, too, to win against the defending champion.
Look at this. Look at this power. He spreads out. He's got his arms flying, legs flying, just all over everything. And he has a sense of where the basket is. You know, I mean, he's moving in the air, and he goes up and finishes that, Rick. I mean, he's looking at a moving target.
That's why he won last year, 49-5, Bob. Woo.
Kenny Walker with a 49.5.
Is that the highest, I think? Isn't it the highest, Bob, yet so far for anybody? The judges are getting warm, I think.
49.6 was the highest by Kenny Smith.
Okay. Well, here we go. Nick's going to have to come out with something out of the bag of tricks now. That puts a little heat on the rest of the competition.
Dominique Wilkins.
He doesn't waste any time, does he? Boy,
He had a bad toss.
That ball hit the shot clock.
We have a very expensive Loomer camera right above that. I hope he doesn't get it. It's about 30 feet high. I don't think he'll hit it.
Well, Dominique, if misses this dunk, he's in trouble. He's got to make sure he gets this one down. Now,
And that's what he did. He went conservative on that one.
Yeah, now that doesn't draw big numbers right there, unless it's just because it's Dominique. And I'm not trying to come down on him, but that was a routine dunk.
Well, he did almost the same thing Kenny did, but what, he didn't cup it. He's going to go up. He'll go with 360. No cup, just held it up and throws it through. Kenny had a lot more flair on it with the cup and the power and all. Dominique certainly had some power on the dunk, but Walker's dunk was much more impressive and deserved the highest score, I would think.
Yes.
Walker got a 49.5. Let's see what Wilkins draws. There's a great view from the roof.
Power.
Dominique Wilkins scores 48 points.
48 flat for Dominique
Now
Wilkins.
Sean Kemp.
I think he really was fortunate to get a score that high.
I agree, Rick.
Now Sean Kemp from Seattle. Kemp has the most cumulative points coming into this semifinal round with 98.2. He had 2 49-1s in the first round. Two dunks in this round also. You get one replacement.
I love the way this kid walks around. You know, I think he's oblivious to there's any unique
Nothing
people
bothers
here.
him. No, he has a happy-go-lucky attitude. Just a nice young man.
Oh, here he comes.
All the way from the far corner with the dribble.
He pulled it back. Now, will that count?
He'll get a chance to do it again without it being a replacement dunk.
That is not considered to be a miss.
I don't know if he realizes you don't have to dribble the ball. Maybe he feels good doing it, but it seems to mess up his timing.
Rick, you forget big guys all want to dribble the ball.
That was powerful, but the dribble, I agree, may have messed it up just a bit. Now he'll get a 49.5 that would put him ahead of Kenny Walker on his windmill dunk.
That's about a 46.8 right there.
Yeah, plus he didn't take off anywhere near as far out as Scottie Pippen. Let's see where he does wind up hitting. See how far in he hit. I mean, it isn't even close. Of course, he certainly had some good power on the move, but not certainly probably the worst dunk of the three he's done so far.
Each competitor gets 2 dunks plus a replacement here in the semifinal round. The
Sean
top
Kemp
score is
scores
49.5.
47.6
Wilkins had a 48, and that's a 47.6 for Sean Kemp.
You know what happens also too with young guys? They show their best early, and then the guys never been in the competition. Rick, Kenny Walker and Dominique, they get warmed up as they go along because they've been here before. They know that they're going to hold off because as it gets down to the end, this crowd will start getting excited on who makes the best dunk.
Kenny Smith has the highest score so far today, a 49.6 in the first round. Oh, that one's strong.
I tell you, this young guy right here is doing it. That was sweet.
I tell you, that ball was behind him. He had to go back and get it and then bring it to the hole. And remember, the other guys are big men. This man is only 6'3" tall. Now watch how he's going to go. See, the ball's behind him. He's got to go back, get it. Now come turn around and throw it in. And I think it may have forced him to make a more creative dunk. Here he goes. Behind.
I like his finish here. Watch him as he comes down. He pirouettes, and after he comes down, he bounces up, throws his arms in the air like he's a gymnast. What's my score?
All right, let's get a view now from Michael Jordan. It's a 49-1 for Kenny Smith. Michael Jordan's with Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Bob. Michael Jordan, the only man to successfully defend his Gatorade Slam Dunk title. What do you like so far?
Well, I think Kenny is defending his title very well, I think, but he's got some great challenges. I think Kenny Smith is the underdog of the situation because he's not quite known as a dunker, but he's very quick. But he's shown some creativity.
Why don't you call this dunk for us? You kind of second-guess yourself? You wish you were in this?
Kind of, sitting here, I wish I was in. But Kenny just told me he was going to take a page from my book, so I think if I don't know what he's going to do, but it's got to do with something that I've already done. And it may be the lean, it may not, I don't know. But he's looked like he's getting some advice from Patrick Ewing. Which I thought it was the lean. Was it the lean? I couldn't see it that good.
It was like the one you did to win it in '87 where you took off from the side.
He told me he was going to try to take a page from that. And I can't see it. I'm going to see it on replay. But he's got the ability to do it.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Good job, kid.
As the competition continues, let's go back to Bob Neal.
Well, let's look at it again. That's the leaner that Jordan won with in '87, but not a clean slam.
Yeah, the Superman flyer as he was going in there that time didn't quite look like Michael when he did it, but still a pretty good score, Bob.
A 47.9 for a total of 97.4. The top two will advance to the championship round. So Kenny Walker with a 97.4.
I think that might have opened the door for Sean Kemp here to come up with a big one. Of course, a lot will depend upon what happens with Dominique, but hey, this is still wide open.
Remember, Dominique has used his replacement dunk.
Now, he likes one here. I don't know if he's going to do it where he takes off and then comes over the other side of the basket behind his head.
Ooh. A two-handed windmill jam. And Cliff Leverson, his Atlanta teammate, came up. You saw the look of Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas. When you impress these guys, that's good.
Look at this. I mean, look at this power. I mean, he makes it look so easy. It looks routine.
Yeah, normally you see a windmill with only one hand. This time, Neek plants those 2 feet, gets that great vertical lift, and look at boom, takes it around the windmill, 2 hands, back up, and then power.
For a 49.7 and a total of 97.7, and that places Wilkins ahead of Walker, and that's the number to beat.
Well, now Sean Kemp's got to come up with one of those 49-something dunks here to have a chance. That would put a lot of heat on Smith to have to come up with something to beat those guys and move into the finals.
Well, Sean Kemp needs a what does he need? Like a 49.8, I think, to tie.
A 50.1. He had a 47.6 on the first one. 50, of course, is the maximum score. 49.8 with tie. A 49.9.
Tie for first or second?
It would tie for second.
No, he's got to get his best dunk.
Didn't get the good bounce here at the Miami Arena. Get a chance to try that again. 20 years old, youngest player in the NBA, 6'10".
Uh-oh.
That was his first. He'll get a replacement.
He had a really good toss on that one, Rick. I thought he was right there. He just got a little bit. When he brought it down, he wasn't able to get enough elevation to finish it. Yeah, but see, the crowd didn't get as excited about that one either.
They'd seen it before, earlier in the first round. Will the judges feel the same way?
Yeah, I'm sure Sean's not going to make it into the next round, but still a good performance for the 20-year-old here as he gets it up. Now, there's a two-hand windmill going up off of a high lob. He actually did more creativity on the same type of dunk as Dominique Wilkins. Had he made it on the first one, he might have had a shot.
Yeah,
A 48.8 for Sean Kemp.
A 48.8, which gives Kemp a 46.4, and that would put him in third place. And, of course, only the top two will advance. So Kenny Smith has got to do better than a 97.4 to beat Kenny Walker to move to the championship round.
So he needs what? He needs a 48.3 on this one to tie for second.
At which there would be a dunk-off then for the advancement. So a 48.4 would move him into the final round.
I'd say Kenny Smith has done a lot better than I thought he would. I did not think he would be here at this phase of the competition.
A mere 6'3". That was pretty strong on the bounce and a two-handed reverse jam. But will the style get him enough from the judges?
I got a feeling he might not make it. It's a heck of a dunk. There's the nice bounce. He clutches it and brings it down. Two hands over the head. Very creative.
He's going to miss it by about 0.2, Rick. This is going to be about a 48.1.
They've been given a lot of high scores here in this round, so who knows? 49.
Whoa! 49.
That means he got into the finals.
98.3, and that means the championship round will be Dominique Wilkins and Kenny Smith. Kenny Skywalker, the defending champion, has been eliminated. I don't like the call from the judges there. I'll say it. I don't think it was as good as the Kenny Skywalker dunk.
I thought that score was a little high. You know, Kenny Walker has to be a little disappointed. And Kenny Smith right now is elated along with Dominique Wilkins.
So it'll be Kenny Smith and Dominique Wilkins. Wilkins, a former champion, for the championship at $20,000 when we return to Miami.
Welcome back to the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship, where Kenny Walker is about to relinquish his title, either Kenny Smith or Dominique Wilkins. What do you think of the judges?
Well, the judges have been very tough so far today, you know, but, you know, there's two good dunkers in here getting ready to go at it. It's going to be tough. Kenny Smith has come up with some good dunks, and Dominique is throwing out some good ones, too, so it should be pretty interesting.
What do you like?
I'm not gonna make a prediction on this. I'm going to just wait and see.
Back to you, Bob.
Some class shown there by Kenny Walker. Obviously disappointed. He's the defending champion. Didn't make it to the finals, but he gave great credit to Kenny Smith from Sacramento at 6'3". There are 3 dunks in the final round with 1 replacement dunk, and Kenny Smith will go first as Dominique won the flip and elected to go second. Kenny Smith into the row of photographers.
There's not a lot of power. Stepped way inside. Again, at 6'3", you can't expect too much from him. But I tell you, his creativity is what's got him into the finals. Just a nice little run off the 1 foot, about 1.5 to 2 feet inside. Very nice, but nothing spectacular about it. Kicked the legs up, which was good, but then hard to get the power when you're that size and jumping from that far out.
So Kenny Smith awaiting his score. Dominique Wilkins. He got a 48-1 on that one. Not a bad score.
Now the judges have been, I think, a little bit more lenient here in the latter rounds. You know, again, early on, a couple of early dunkers. Scottie Pippen for one with that long run that he did. Now Scottie Pippen's dunk was so much more spectacular than that. And what did he get for that first dunk of his? Something down in the low 40s.
Yeah, it's a 46 and change.
Yeah, or middle. Yeah, that's tough.
Now Dominique Wilkins. Former champion, late entry. See, they're going conservatives. This is playoff dunking.
Well, see, he dunked that so quickly. You don't realize, I mean, it was so fast. He came underneath the basket, brought it under, and threw it over his head so quickly. What's this right here now? He takes off, and watch how quick this is. This is slow motion. He brings it under and throws it down.
The super slow-mo champion. And speaking of dunking, let's go to Steve Jones and the master, Dr. J.
Well, Doc, we have been sitting up here talking about how difficult the judges have been and how quiet the crowd has been. What do you think about the event so far?
Once again, Kenny Smith.
You know, I think it's a little slow right now, and I think the format might have a lot to do with that. Since there was so much space between dunks, between the athletes, you didn't get a chance to get a feel for how good one guy was doing. But we've seen some exciting dunks, and certainly, you know, I think with this final round right here, you know, Kenny Smith seems to be pulling a Spud Webb, catching everybody by surprise, because he certainly wasn't one of the favorites.
All right, well, you talked about him. Keep talking about Kenny Smith right now.
Well, what he's doing right now is just showing creativity, and he's done a lot of timing dunks, and he's been nailing them. And I think he's probably even surprising Dominique. Look at Dominique, man. He's like, well, what is that? I remember when Spud did that to him. He's like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to do that. I'm the Neek, right?
Well, you know, everyone has had their favorites in this contest, and it looks like Kenny Smith has pushed ahead. We'll see what the judges do for him, Doc. All right, let's go back to Bob and Rick and Doug Collins.
Okay, thank you, Steve Jones. First of all, Dominique got a 47.9 on his dunk prior to this one, and now on 49.8 for Kenny Smith.
And I think that's great. Again, he did the creativity. That's a very difficult dunk to do. Dominique is showing a sameness to his dunks. He's doing the same type of things, the pump, the clutch, the hard thing, not the creativity. And I think the fans and the judges are being caught up with this. So, again, I think Julius might have hit it. This could very well be a Spud Webb type of competition with an unknown coming in and grabbing the crowd.
Well, let's put some pressure on Dominique here. He's got to come up with something.
He misses. Remember, he'll get a replacement dunk. Only one, though, and this is a 3-dunk championship round.
Well, he was flying. That would have been a spectacular dunk. That would have given him high numbers because it was beautiful timing. He got a great toss.
I give him a 9.8 on the miss.
Yeah, that's twice he's missed that same dunk.
Now, is there a minimum score you get if you miss?
20, yeah, you only can get 25.
Okay.
The windmill dunk from Dominique Wilkins. once again, I think the point is well raised that our judges have seen this a lot, and Dominique Wilkins has been in this competition over and over again, won it back in '85, and we've seen this before from Dominique.
Well, that's what happens when you miss a dunk and you're in under this kind of pressure. Dominique knew that he must convert, so he wanted to go to something that was spectacular, but at the same time safe. And again, the double pump, and he throws it down with the same kind of power that we've seen the whole contest. But Rick, I think you made a good point. A lot of his dunks have looked very similar.
A 49.7 awarded on that dunk. That's a shock. Smith has 97.9 right now, and it's 97.6 for Dominique, and it's going to go down to the third one. That surprised me very much right now. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Bob. With me is Cliff Levingston, Dominique's dunking coach, and John Sally, who's talking in the back. What'd you tell Dominique?
Well, we told him to pump his sneakers a couple times and so he can get a little more lift.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, we're down to the wire. Let's go back to Bob Neal.
Thank you, Kenny Smith, now for his third dunk. A lob again. He grabbed the rim and followed through. I'll bet he wishes he hadn't done that because he could have pulled it back down. Now he does have a replacement dunk remaining, so he may choose to do that as a replacement dunk. It looks like his right hand is sore.
Now, does he know that he can get a replacement dunk even though he made that? So I don't know whether he knows that he can replace that even with the make. I think he's questioning right now, can I do it over even though I made it?
I'll tell you what, that's still a pretty creative dunk right there. The guy had no chance to make it and caught the rim and wound up whipping back. He caught his wrist because he came around from behind the swing.
Getting a ruling from the NBA on this is Kenny Smith. Looks like his wrist is hurting right now. Still no word on it. They say he cannot replace it. The dunk has to miss for you to be able to replace it, so that will count. And he got a 47-2 on it for a total of 145-1. Dominique Wilkins' lowest score today has been 47-9. You see the NBA officials on the sideline explaining to Kenny Smith that since the dunk went through the net, he does not get a replacement. Let's see what he did to his wrist here. Dominique now has a 97-6.
You know, I wonder how much they counted against him by grabbing the left hand and pulling himself up, Rick. I don't know if they counted that against him.
Dominique needs a 47-6 to win. Oh, that's got to get it.
Yeah, but again, you see, it's the same type of dunks that the league has been coming up with. And Kenny is extremely creative to get out of that dunk. So,
how about this? Dominique Wilkins' shoe company paid him $100,000 to come to this competition because they're about to come out with a new line of shoes, and I believe he's about to win and get another 20.
Well, here's the two-hand plan again. The two-hand, when we've seen it a lot. Great power, great elevation, of course. And it's just unfortunate that Kenny Smith elected to go ahead and finish that dunk off. Had he had a chance to do it over again, we could have seen someone who would have been a new champion.
A 49-2, and Dominique Wilkins is a repeat champion with a total cumulative score in the championship round of a 146.8. Dominique Wilkins, the champion from 1985, is now the champion from 1990. Dominique Wilkins over the underdog, the upstart, the upset-minded Kenny Smith from Sacramento.